trusted name in news.
The President and I want to wish each and every American a very Merry Christmas.
We give thanks for the millions of Americans who come together to care for others with compassion and bring the warmth and bliss of this holy season to our families, our friends, our neighbors, and to those in need.
A Christmas message from the President and First Lady. The President also saying in a statement, quote, "Together, we must strive to foster a culture of deeper understanding and respect, traits that exemplify the teachings of Christ," unquote. That sentiment lasted about 8 hours. Then President Trump took to Twitter. Take a look at some of the tweets the President sent starting Christmas Day. He called Democrats liars. He went after Speaker Pelosi quite a bit. He retweeted an unsubstantiated claim about the whistleblower's identity. I have to say, the idea of the President saying that we need to strive to foster a culture of deeper understanding and respect was an interesting one, Sarah. It's not one that I think traits that exemplify the teachings of Christ, not necessarily the behavior of President Trump.
You know, there was a game that used to be played sort of in early 2017 of did the President write the tweet or did some of his staff? And I think we sort of left that game behind. But I think when it comes to the Christmas message, I think we can solidly say that might have been drafted elsewhere in the White House.
So, and Nayyera, a lot of tweets attacking Nancy Pelosi, Speaker Pelosi, a sign, I think it's fair, that she has irked him by withholding the impeachment documents and also by going forward with impeachment. Take a listen to what President Trump said about Pelosi Christmas Eve of this year.
She hates the Republican Party. She hates all of the people that voted for me and the Republican Party. And she's desperate to do. Look, she got thrown out as Speaker once before. I think it's going to happen again. She's doing a tremendous disservice to the country. She's not doing a good job. And some people think that she doesn't know what she's doing.
And Merry Christmas.
Exactly. God bless us, everyone. I think Tiny Tim said something similar to that. Just a fact check there. She didn't get thrown out of the speakership, although the Democrats did lose the majority once before, but she remained the leader of the Democratic Party. She seems to have gotten under his skin.
Oh, absolutely gotten under his skin. And her response is very calm, cool, and collected, which is not something I think Donald Trump understands how to deal with. And also, of course, there's the feminine mystique about her that really seems to jar him. He also hasn't quite figured out a nickname for her yet, which one that will stick, other than potentially using crazy constantly. But listen, impeachment is done in the House, but Pelosi is not done with impeachment. The danger, I think, of her holding on to it a little too long, not only would it bleed into the caucuses and the primaries, but also it goes against the idea of working a fair process, potentially that she is now playing partisan games as well.
And Scott Jennings, you have worked and you have a close relationship with Senate Majority Leader McConnell, who has telegraphed that he's working closely with the White House on the Senate trial. Take a listen to the Majority Leader talking to Fox earlier this week, explaining his position.
Well, first on the impartiality issue, do you think Chuck Schumer is impartial? Do you think Elizabeth Warren is impartial?
No.
Bernie Sanders is impartial? So let's quit the charade. This is a political exercise.
Is that, I mean, that might be how he feels, but is it smart to say that out loud as opposed to saying I'm going to run a fair trial?
Is it smart to tell the truth out loud? I mean, these are pretrial opinions issued by every U.S. senator in both parties. They're going to go and take their oath that Karen alluded to earlier, and they're going to run a trial just the way, if McConnell gets his way, they did in the Clinton impeachment before. They had a rules package that everybody agreed on. The Democrats, by the way, coordinated with the Clinton White House in putting on the Clinton defense. If you can read the book by Peter Baker, The Breach, you'll see all about it. Chuck Schumer, by the way, in 1998, you want to talk about impartiality and impeachment, sold his vote. He ran around New York saying a vote for me is a vote against impeaching Bill Clinton. And so I think telling the truth is a refreshing thing. And McConnell has said what's true. These are all political actors, and not a one of them doesn't know how they're going to vote right now.
But there's a difference when you are, because actually in the Clinton impeachment process, Trent Lott and Tom Daschle made a point of not talking to the White House, actually, while he and Trent Lott had a conversation.
His staff did, but he did not, yeah.
Correct, but however, he and Trent Lott got together and said, okay, let's decide what the rules are. Let's make sure this isn't a show trial. Instead, you've got this rancor going on, and Mitch McConnell has a different role in this proceeding than the other senators. He's supposed to be the jury foreman. I mean, if I were on trial and I knew that the jury foreman was already against me, I mean, that's how can you even?
Why won't Chuck Schumer accept the Clinton rules that McConnell has thrown out right now?
Because this process is different. We had the Starr report, which had a lot of really fun details that nobody wanted to be talking about on television. I can tell you, having read it and lived through it. So I think there is a difference. We're talking about a president who essentially abused his power. People go to jail for what he did. So it's just a very
go to jail for what?
All right.
Bribery.
All right. We will
and
continue.
obstruction.
How about this? We'll continue this in 2020. We'll continue this conversation in 2020. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all of you. Thank you so much. God bless us, everyone. Words of wisdom from this decade to help us.